let's explore the concept of passing chords. Before we dive in, I'm Moses Abefarin. It is important to understand that passing chords are not the same as chord substitution. A passing chord is used to smoothly connect two chords, creating a seamless transition. For how we sing, how great is our God. In contrast, a chord substitute replaces a chord entirely while still maintaining the same harmonic function. You might have heard of Triton substitution, secondary dominant substitution, and other types. In this tutorial, we'll be looking at different types of passing chords and how to use them effectively. The first passing chord we're going to look at is diatonic passing chord, which means that if you pick the key of C and you play the diatonic scale, construct all the diatonic chords 6, 7, and back to 1. It means that if you pick any of this chord and use it as a passing chord, that is a diatonic passing chord. So for example, if you take a simple chord progression like 1, 6, 4, 5, okay, progression. So I have 1 and I'm going to 6. So I need a chord to pass me to 6, which means a chord that will connect me smoothly to 6. I'm going to 6, I'll play the E, then D7 to 4, then E again, which you can play this way, and back to 5. That's the E there. All the chords I've used there all belong to the diatonic scale of C. The next one is chromatic passing chord. Still on the same key of C. Look at it. So I will use the same chord progression, which is the 1, 6, 4, 5. So if you have that, I have chord 1, right? And I'm going to 6. I can do chromatically to play B flat if I want, or I can equally play B7th, B7th to the 6. Then I'm going to 4. I'm going to play the A flat minor, and I'm going to come to chord 4. Then I'm going to 5. I'll play the F sharp diminished 7th and to go to 5. So let's listen to it together with the same chord progression. So it's going to be then to 6, A flat to 4, then F sharp diminished to 5. Did you see that chromatically? So if you don't want to do this B, you can equally do B flat minor 7. So let's test that out. Chromatic passing chord, B flat minor 7, I get to A minor 7, I go to F sharp or G flat diminished 7, I go to G. Next is the secondary dominant passing chord. In this passing chord, you must be able to think ahead. So with the same chord progression, so from C, I'm going to A, right? I must look out for what is the secondary dominant of A, which most time is the 5th. So if you play the scale of A major, what is the 5th? E. So we're going to play the E7. So the E7 is a secondary dominance to A, right? So that is it there. So the chord progression from C to A becomes C, E7 to A. Then also again, I'm going to F, which I know according to the chord progression. What is the secondary dominance of F? It is C. Okay, let's go to the key of F. F, G, A, B flat, C. You can see that is the 5th again. So which is the what? The C7th chord. Then I'll go to F. So let's play the whole progression together. C major, passing, secondary dominant to A. The secondary dominant, which is the C7 to what? F. Then I'm going to G. What is the secondary dominant of G, which is the D7, and I'm back to G. So let's play together. that? I like that. Then, and you see that that same chord progression, that same simple chord progression has been transformed. The next one is the diminished passing chord. Still on the key of C. So the same chord progression we've started with. So for us to go to the next chord, which is A minor, right? I can play the C sharp diminished and pass to A minor. Then from A minor, we are going to F. We can also pass with the B diminished seventh to F. And we're going to G. We can pass with the F sharp or G flat diminished seventh to G. So let's play together. Wow, that sounds so nice there. Then to F, and then to this. Wow. You see? So you have to be careful when you are using a passing chord. Every time the rhythm might not be the same way I'm playing it in this song. So it changes depending on song. I'm only showing you this. So you know when to quickly squeeze in those passing chords, and then you go to the real chord of the song. You understand? The same way we did in the fields. You need to know the point. You need to quickly, or the gap, you need to quickly fix in that chord to go to the next one. Next is modal interchange passing chord. This is one of my favorite passing chord because it changed the mode of the song. It made the song seems there is a kind of temporary modulation, which I love so much. So you have to be careful when you are using this passing chord. So with the same chord progression, 1, 6, 4, 5. So you must be able to think of, okay, I'm on the key of C. What is the parallel key to C, or the parallel minor to C, which is the E flat? So we are going to, this is also called borrowed chord. We are going to go to the key of E flat and borrow some chord there, or you go to the key of C minor and borrow some chord there to play in the major, which is a C major. A typical 1, 6, 4, 5. We sound like this with the modal interchange or borrow chord passing chord. So you're gonna be, see that then, E flat, I go to the F minor. Did you see that now? But there's a problem in this chord because when I play the B flat major, the progression was hanging. It doesn't resolve. So you have to be careful. Remember that every dissonant chord you play on the piano is all about tension and how you can resolve it. So with that, I'm not going to play B flats at the end anymore. I'm going to play the original key, which is G. Remember, that's our last chord on the key of C major on that. So it's going to sound like this. A flat major, I'm going to F minor. Did you see that? Ooh, sounds so great. Then back to 1. Did you see that? So you can use that to even modulate to another key. Look at this. 1, A flat major, F minor, we'll go to the G. You can see it's hanging. Then I can resolve back to C major, or I can resolve back to what? C flat minor, which from there, I've changed the key of the song. I've changed the key of the song. See that? I've climbed up to the next key. I think I've done this in one of my tutorials when we talk about different types of modulation. So we did it there. So it's just like temporary, you modulate temporarily and then you came back again. So listen to it again. 1, A flat major, then F minor, the same chord progression. You can hear that, then they just, then. Still with this modal interchange or borrowed chord, you might have heard of this chord progression I want to play, or chord ending in some genre of music like the one Michael Jackson did and done well like that. So look at it. Instead of you going, let's say you have a chord progression going from this same chord progression, 1, right, 6, 5, 4, 1. So you are looking, you have a chord progression going from 4, 5, and 1. You can use the modal interchange. You borrow the 4, 5, 1 on the key of what? C minor or E flat. So you're going to be, you have heard it before. And back to what? Sounds so great. Sounds so great again. Look at it again. So you're from here, instead of playing and then end, which is not bad, you can transform that chord with the interchange of borrow it from A flat, borrow A flat, borrow A flat, borrow B flat, and then end. That's another run there. Next is tritone substitution. I'm sure you've been wondering, what is tritone doing here? Yes, you can use tritone. It's just that you must be able to think ahead. The same chord progression, 1, 6, 4, 5, right? We can use tritone substitution as a passing chord. When we are going from C to A, we play the E7 to go to A. So this E7, you are going to play the tritone substitution of this E7, okay? So also when we are going from, so we did A, E7 to A, we play the C7 to F, right? The C7 to F. Then when we are going to G, we'll play the D7 to G. So we are going to play the tritone substitution of this one, E7. We are going to play the tritone substitution of C7, and we're going to play the tritone substitution of what? Of D7. So the tritone substitution of E7 is B flat. Tritone, 3 tones. So let's do it. 3 whole tones. So 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3. Starting key, 1, 2, 1 tone, 1, 2, 2 tone, 1, 2, 3 tones. So E is the tritone substitution of E is B flat. Take note of that. One of the rules of tritone substitution is that the chord you are substituting must be a dominant 7th chord. Yes. In my next class, I'm going to analyze how tritone substitution, the theory, everything about it. But for this passing chord, I just need to touch it a little bit, then I move on. So we talked about the tritone substitution for E is B flat. Remember, the tritone substitution for C. The tritone substitution for C is what? F sharp, which is the G flat. Don't forget. And the tritone substitution for D is A flat. Good. So those are the ones we are going to fix into that chord progression. The chord progression will go like this. You can write it down in a book so that you won't get confused. Then instead of me going to E flat 7, no, I won't do that. I'll play B flat. Please take note of that. So I will do this. Then to A. Then and then it sounds so different. So that's the tritone sub you can use as a passing chord. You might not use it in every point, maybe just in a few points, and then you continue your playing. Maybe you want to go to, for example, you want to go to G, you can just play. So you substitute C instead of playing, right? Then you can just play as that's the F sharp 7th, dominant 7th, or G flat, dominant 7th, then to G. So you've substituted, you've displaced the C there. So instead of you playing just the C and go to G, what is it? Becomes then back to the G. Okay, so all together, A minor, then F, then, and then. Sounds great. Sounds great. You can work on that and check if you really like the way it sounds in your playing. The next is augmented passing chord. Easy. We know the augmented chord is when we pick a triad chord and we sharpen the 5th. We have that augmented. So with the same chord progression, which is 1, 6, 4, 5. So we can do from 1. Look at it. that? Sounds great. And then the next one is pedal passing chord. Very easy. Pedal means we have a stationary note play on different chords. For example, look at it now. Look at it. The same chord progression. 1, 6, 4, and 5. If you notice, my left hand was on pedal, which means my left hand was just holding down the C. So most time you see that in slash chord whenever you want the, maybe you have a long note, like say at the end of it, so like so you want to pedal that. So let's say that's the pedal, you can just play some pedal notes along that. So if I go to the key of G, I'm going to play the same chord progression. So let's say I ended on the right, I will now play. Did you see that now? So I play some couple of chords over a stationary chord. Probably you give that stationary note to the bass player. Next is circle of fifth passing chord. This is used in so many times. Almost every music you listen to will have a circle of fifth passing chord. So the stage chord progression: 1, 6, 4, 5. So going to A. What is the fifth of A? It is E. So I'll play, and I will play the E, 7th. I go to A. Then I'm going to F. Right? What is the fifth of F, which is the C? We've done some part of this in the diatonic scale. You understand? It's just that the diatonic scale might not really move on fifth. It might move on, for example, when we move from G, when we move from F to G, we play the E minor, right? We play the E minor to what? We play the E minor 7th to G. A circle of fifth passing chord, you are strictly focusing on fifth note to the next chord. 1, 5th to A minor, right? Then I'm going to F. What is the fifth to F? To F. You see that? Then I'm going to G. What is the fifth to G? D. And then see, you can transform your playing with this. You can reharmonize a typical 1, 6, 5, 4 boring chord progression to something very interesting. We use a circle of fifth. So in context now, I'm going to use How Great Is Our God to show you some of these passing chords. Not all. You can't use all, and depending on how vast you are, but it's not compulsory you use all at a go. Just try them out and see the one which will be easier for you to use. So how great, the normal chord is this, is our God, right? Sing with me, how great is our God. For how we sing, how great. Did you see that? And how great is our God. It sounds great. Don't mind that. It sounds great. But you can transform it like this. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. For how we sing, how great is our God. So what did I do? I picked from the diatonic passing chord, which is this. Or if you don't want to call it the diatonic passing chord, you can call it the circle of fifth passing chord. So how great, I did this, is our God. I'm going to F. Sing with me, diatonic passing chord, because that's not the fifth to F. I did the diatonic passing chord there. Sing with me, how great, to 4. Is, and I did chromatic, since I know I'm going to C, which is the B minor 7 flat 5. Or you can just play B minor, you might not go flat 5 there, it can still work. Is that, so that's a chromatic movement. Then I did the chromatic passing chord again to G. is I God. Then I can do this again using modal interchange. Look at this. So how great. Please look at it carefully. Is our God. Sing with me how great. You see that? Is our God. For I will sing how great. How great is our God. You didn't hear that? So it's like I shifted a little bit and I came back. Let me do it slowly this time around. How great. So I'm going to apply the diatonic, chromatic, diminished, passing chord, and modal interchange or borrow chord passing chord. So how great is our God. Circle of fifth or diatonic passing chord. Sing with me. Diatonic passing chord to F. How great. Then chromatic is our God. You see that? For I will sing how great. Then to the diminished, how great. So instead of play how great, because you're ending, is our God. No, you are going to go like you do. How great. Ah, that's so great there. So look at it. How great is I. In conclusion, there is no single correct passing chord. You can use any one. But instead, think of it as a color which you can pick from based on the emotion or the effects you are trying to create in the music. One of the things I observed is that when you use the tritone substitution, you resolve back a semitone lower. For example, we did that at when we move from C to A. So we'll play C and we'll play the B flat 7th and resolve back to A. Did you see that now? So the tritone substitution of E7 resolve a semitone to what? The key we are looking at, which is the A. Then if you look at the diminished passing chord mostly resolve back to mostly resolve forward in semitone. For example, Izaga. Did you see that? Izaga. Did you see that now? So take note of that. So just think of it like you have box of colors, right? Like a lot of colors inside. So it is what you want to pick determines the color you are going to bring out. So that is how the passing chord works in practical. I hope you find this video very helpful. So let me know in the comment section the types of passing chord you like to try out and which one is your favorite. I'll be expecting your response as soon as possible. So don't forget to subscribe, share with friends and family. If you have any question, don't forget to put it down in the comment section, and see you in my next lesson.